You take it a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the SZN Podcast. It's episode 55 you're joining us for. I'm your host, Cam.
I'm your boy, Flows.
And as usual, make sure you subscribe on the YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. If you want to go to our Instagram and Twitter, there's a link in the bio that sort of has all of our links. Make sure you click on that and join us on all the social platforms. Bro, here we are, another week. How have you been? How was your weekend?
It's good, bro.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
How was yours? Obviously, you went somewhere.
Yeah, no, I was festivaling and whatnot. I'm tired. My legs are finished. After one day, I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm good. I'm content.
Getting old, bro. Getting old,
bro. It's ridiculous, man. I could barely walk afterwards, man. Shocking, absolutely shocking. But
it gets like that.
Yeah, we thank God we're alive and that and whatnot. So interesting weekend, and as usual, boxing's giving us lots of talking points for the weekend. So let's dive straight in, bro. Listeners, I don't want you to think that this is a vendetta against Oscar Valdez. Let me start with this one. It's not a vendetta because obviously last week we sort of went in on obviously the drug ruling and how farcical it was that the fight was still going ahead and whatnot. I think we were all unanimous in our thoughts that, it's ridiculous and the fight shouldn't be going ahead and really and truly this fight should be cancelled. But yeah, it went ahead. On Friday, we've seen that fight go ahead. Oscar Valdez versus Robson Conceição. Bit of a grudge match between the two because Conceição beat him in the amateurs. So this is a rematch from the amateur days. Obviously, all the talk during the build-up to that fight was obviously the drug ruling, which obviously Conceição's team was saying that, he shouldn't be going ahead and whatnot and calling him a cheat and whatnot. And Oscar Valdez himself was obviously under a lot of pressure because he's still adamant to this day that, he took this substance unknowingly. I think they said it came from herbal tea. I think it was.
Nuts like that. Yeah, green tea or herbal tea.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. And he was just here to obviously defend his title and clear his name, kind of. And it obviously made for an interesting build-up. And I must say, the fight itself was also very, very interesting. I will say this: it was a great fight. I actually really, really enjoyed this fight. When I say interesting, my interests were with the final results of this fight. I don't know your thoughts towards it already. Obviously, we haven't discussed this prior, and you don't know my thoughts either. So let's get out there. Who would you say won that fight for you?
Conceição, I thought won.
I also think that Robson Conceição won that fight.
Yeah.
Are we calling it a robbery?
It's no, because we don't. At this point, it's boxing. That's just the way it is. You're going up against a home fighter.
Yeah.
You're going up the judges, the crowds. You're looking at certain things, and I can see, like last week with Ebony Bridges, I said I can see how this one's going to be scored. This one, I can see how it was going to be scored. Even the scorecards pissed me off regardless. The refereeing pissed me off regardless. But then Conceição as well, he should know better.
Okay.
This is boxing, you should know better.
Okay.
So let's talk about the fight, man.
Yeah, listeners will be thinking, okay, what's all this? What's this? So we're going to go through every single point that you just made now. Yeah. We're going to canvas it now as we go through the fight. First 5 rounds, I would say first 5 rounds, I think I've seen a wonderful performance of Conceição, boxing-wise. Obviously, yes, he's odds are stacked against him. Not only his opponent might have an unfair advantage in there, but also the fact that Oscar Valdez is basically fighting his home turf, home crowd, heavily pro Valdez, and Conceição's coming there with a game plan, which to me was perfect. He showed no fear. He's gotten behind the jab straight away. He had like a 3-4 inch height and reach advantage over Valdez, and he sure boxed like it in terms of he kept, he stayed long, was boxing behind the jab, and what I really liked from him was just his aggression. He was the one walking Valdez down. He was the one being first to the punch, and the one peppering him with combinations, and just being the aggressor in there, which surprised because Valdez normally is the one that's walking you down and doing that to you. But Conceição's coming there with like literally no fear whatsoever. I like seeing that from a challenger, because naturally a challenger fighting in someone's home turf against a superstar, I would say, in Valdez, maybe not superstar, but obviously he's highly rated, highly regarded, would show a bit of fear, will be a bit tentative, will be unwilling to engage. But Conceição, he was the one looking to engage and whatnot. Like every time Valdez would catch him, he would fire back straight away and then walk him down. And I was thinking to myself, this is wonderful, wonderful work. This is how a challenger should come to try and rip the belt off a champion. None of this tentative rubbish. Come, enforce your game plan, and show everyone that, I deserve to be here. And from round 2 onwards, Valdez's face was mashed up already from round 2 onwards, bro.
From round 1, his face was red.
Mashed up. His face was
already red.
And defensively as well, I think this is underrated he's defensively, I think his defensive work was really good as well. A lot of the shots that Valdez was throwing, they weren't really catching him too tough. He was very, very good at slipping. He had his glove placement. His glove placement was also really, really good, in the sense that Valdez loves to fire back with a counter like left hook. He loves that. He loves that left hook. And Conceição, kept having his guard up super high to block that. Whenever Valdez would go to the body, obviously he's tucked in nicely. Yeah, first 5 rounds, I'm there thinking wonderful, wonderful stuff from Conceição. I might have given him all 5 rounds, in that first 5. Yeah,
I did. Maybe there was one, maybe like the 3rd round, which could have been the other way, but I gave him all. It was the way he controlled the distance in those first 5 rounds was brilliant. Yeah. Anytime Valdez was in range, he let off. He was first. Anytime he was within range, he didn't let him get close. And you know what Valdez is like. Valdez applies pressure. Didn't let him get close. And if he did get close, wrap him up. Control the distance beautifully. And like you say, anytime Valdez tried tee off on him or have moments of success, immediately get back because he had to reply, we had to respond. Yeah. So the first 5 rounds, like you say, brilliant game plan. I think he was boxing beautifully. And
he knew it. He had the swagger to his work. He had the demeanor, was mad confident. And we saw in the 5th round, at the end of the 5th round, when he's then started showboating. As in, man's done the whole, when Floyd like dodged that Canelo shot and he looked at, like he did that to Valdez. Like he was like,
that when he done that, he caught him with a counter shot as well, which was even better.
It was mad. It was mad. He caught him with a 6 counter shot, head up, like proper showboating there, smile on his face. The crowd's booing. He's eating up. Like that's he's there to be the villain, and it was wonderful stuff. And then from the 6th round, it kind of went downhill a little bit because I don't know if Conceição, obviously, we knew Valdez was going to come strong regardless. He's someone who always stays strong and gets stronger during fights. But from that 6th round, I don't know if Conceição got into his head thinking, I'm so far ahead here, I can sort of become a bit lax. Because that's exactly what he did in the 6th round. He tried to carry on with the showboat and stuff, and his hands were down. And Valdez just obviously, I think the commentator sort of said that, Conceição's opening the door here, and Valdez walked right through. And that was annoying to me. So I thought to myself, I understand that, you're confident and you're ahead on the scorecards. You feel like you're ahead on the scorecards and you feel like you're battering your opponent, but you've got to keep the same pace throughout. You can't start showboating from the 5th and 6th round and let your standards slip, because as the hometown fighter, these judges are going to look for any excuse to try and jump in and try and help the guy, right? And I felt like that was annoying to me. Conceição started to get sloppy from round 6 onwards, and Valdez then started to come on strong. But even though he was getting sloppy, he was still within the fight. He was still firing up combinations here and there. And even though from the 6th round onwards, I gave the majority of rounds to Valdez, to me, Conceição still won. He still won 1 or 2 rounds. It wasn't a complete shutout. Yes, it was a tale of 2 halves. I think in the fight, in terms of the first half was Conceição, second half was Valdez. But Conceição to me still got a few of the rounds, 1 or 2 of the rounds in the second half of the fight. I want to talk about a certain refereeing decision that happened. I'm not too sure what round it was, bro, but we've seen the referee deduct a point from Conceição for hitting on the back of the head. But you know how it normally goes in the ring. If the fighter's hitting on the back of the head repeatedly, the referee will warn them at least once or twice and be like, don't do that, do that. But the referee's gone and taken a point off straight away. No warning. 0 warning whatsoever. And then I think they showed on the replays, it wasn't even a hit. It was like he tapped him on the back of the head. It wasn't even a punch properly. He tapped him on the back of the head and the referee's taking a point. And that's when straight I've been thinking to myself, I don't know what's going on.
At that point, I wanted to stop watching. I was like, honestly, I'm turning this off. Because, like you say, I think he's tapped him on. He's clinched.
Yeah,
they've clinched, and the ref's telling them to break out. But he's tapped him on the back, then punch to the head. Not even a punch; it's a tap to the head. Yeah, like it's literally almost like a pat on the back, pat on the head. Yeah, and then he done it twice in that clinch, a pat on the head. It wasn't a punch. It wasn't anything that's going to hurt him. And then the refs immediately said 1 point, and deducted 1 point.
Have you seen that before? 0 warning. There's always a warning. That's a fact.
There is usually a warning.
For the most part, there's a warning all the time.
There's typically a warning, and unless it's like a bad back of the head punch,
one. But this was
maybe someone's gone down and you punched them on the back of the head while they're going down, something like that. Maybe you can instantly get one where it's almost malicious. This wasn't malicious
at all. And what took the piss? You saw what happened later on?
Yeah.
What took the piss even more? Valdez has done the exact way. He's done it worse. He's actually hit him on the back of the head twice. Yeah. The referees warned him twice. No points, nothing. He gave Valdez 2 warnings. Said don't punch on the back of the head. But when Conceição did it, straight away took a point off. So already I'm there thinking, come on now, here we go. Now Valdez, obviously, like I said, I want to give him credit because he did come strong in the second half of the fight. But I thought part of that was Conceição letting him in.
Yeah, it's a weird one because what Conceição was doing, really and truly, I wouldn't even say it was sloppy. It was just lax and almost, like when you've won a fight for 12 rounds and it's the last minute of the 12th round, a fight is try not to get hit, essentially. So there's a way where you can box and not get hit, but he was just like moving around, evading and being lax and showboating, and that's not going to do you any favors. So it's not even a case where he was. I don't know what he was doing. He was almost moving nuts for the last 6 rounds.
You saw the shift in how in the first half he was one walking down Valdez, and then from the 6th round onwards, when that shift came, he was on the back foot for the rest of the fight, and Valdez was the one cutting him off and being what. This is what we're used to seeing with Valdez. He's going to walk you down, typical Mexican style. But even that being said, it wasn't as if, to me, and that first 5 rounds, I thought Conceição was washing Valdez, him. And in that second half of the fight, even though I was giving the majority of rounds to Valdez, it wasn't a washing to me because Conceição will still fight back with combinations. They weren't the same sort of hurtful combinations, or they didn't have the same pop and confidence in the shots compared to the first 5 rounds. But he was still picking some great shots off and hitting Valdez with some really good, clean combos. And it was a case of, Conceição might actually be landing more in these rounds, but obviously the hurtful big shots are coming from Valdez, as we saw. So obviously it's that dilemma for judges. Are they going to score the hurtful shots or the shots that are coming more and more frequent? They're less hurtful, but they're more frequent. The frequency.
Yeah. You got to use, what's it called? Max Kellerman's quote again. It's about controlling the story of the fight.
Story of the fight,
It's the story of the fight because you're watching it and Valdez is the one walking him down. Valdez is the one who's pressing the action.
Yes.
Whereas Conceição's on the back foot doing all this, moving from side to side, trying to avoid and then fighting within spots. So like you say, when Valdez was washing him or beating him up because Valdez wasn't even having too much success, really and truly, but just off the fact that he's the one pressing the action, coming forward.
Conceição's defense was really good. Like he was moving, he was blocking a lot of shots. It's just that you just get a bit annoyed because we saw how well he boxed in that first 5 when he was the one walking him down, and he was showing that he's the bigger man in there, and he's got that W under his belt amateur-wise, so he's not scared of this guy. So that shift from that to, I'm going to now be doing the whole movement thing, and I'm not really going to be the aggressor anymore, etc. I don't know. I don't know if he was so confident, he thought he was so far ahead that he can do that, or
he was still got tired. Valdez.
Yeah, but that's the maddening thing. The punch stats. Like... I'll get into the punch stats later because obviously when we talk about the judge's decision, but yeah, it was a weird shift, and obviously I think that was the first time Conceição had ever gone past 10 rounds, so maybe tiredness might have come into play. But he, like I said, was tired. I can't. No, I can't. I don't want to put it to tiredness either because this shift happens in the 6th round. It happened. It literally. It was after he put his hands up in that 5th round, bare confident and stuff. And that 6th round, we're just seeing him sort of just retreat into sort of like a not negative but back foot sort of fighter. And yeah, even though, like you said, Valdez was then at that point controlling the story of the fight. So yeah, there wasn't any knockdowns or any close knockdowns. It was, but I actually enjoyed this fight because it was high quality matchup, I think, from both of these guys. Like I said, I don't think that second half, it wasn't a whitewash to Valdez for Valdez for me.
Close rounds.
Yeah, it was still close rounds. And I think I might have even given Conceição 1 or 2. So in the end, by my scorecard, even with that point deduction, I had Conceição winning this fight. I'll be so honest. And the early work told. That first 5, I think, was a shutout, in my opinion. I wasn't really happy. The version I watched was the top-ranked version with Andre Ward and Tim Bradley on commentary. And they're my guys. Even though I don't want to say a bad word against Ward and Bradley. Like, those are my guys for real. But I wasn't too happy with the commentary. I thought it was so biased in favor of Valdez. So biased. I don't know what stream you caught, but hella biased, man. Hella biased. Like, what I would say to listeners, watch this fight on mute. Honestly, it's that type of, because like any little thing Valdez will do, will big him up and whatnot, and Conceição will do really good work, and they won't really say much. Like, the way they were talking that second half that Valdez was washing this guy. And I'm there like, no, he's not though. Conceição is actually in this fight. And he's actually outlanded him in this round, you know. Just like, obviously, the big shots were coming from Valdez, yes. But Conceição was still very much in the fight, even if you can give those rounds to Valdez. So I wasn't happy with the commentary. It was too biased, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you've got a crowd who's supporting the home fighter, and with Conceição moving backwards, circling, the crowd are booing, the crowd are getting excited for what Valdez is doing.
Yep.
They're ignoring Robson's good work.
That's one thing. They put, to be fair, they were very critical of the referee's decision to knock a point off Conceição.
Bradley was defending it. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
It was I can't remember who's the other guy, the main commentator. I can't remember who the main commentator guy, but he was there saying, like, you know, because obviously remember it happened to Valdez. He was there saying, wait, how come Valdez hasn't got a warning? Like they'll go like
they didn't stick out. Yeah,
and I think Ward did say that they felt like the ref was swayed by the crowd there. When we know when he tapped him back,
the crowd. No,
but no. I don't think there's any. I just think the referee. I just think that's just poor refereeing. It's ridiculous. That what happened there was silly. I can't believe it.
Referee can't be blaming the crowd for anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nah.
you ref properly, fairly. You can't be blaming the crowd if you're a ref. Come on. But like OJ Ward's scorecards, I've tended to disagree with that.
It's true. It's true. You've called out Ward a few times with his scorecards.
Yeah,
still,
his scorecards are a bit nuts lately.
Yeah.
But it's hard. Man, because you're watching it and Conceição isn't even doing too badly. It's just like you're a boxer. You should know you're up against the home crowd. You need to take that. You need to take that. You can't be showboating and doing all this. You need to give the judges every reason to give you every round.
Absolutely.
And the first 5 rounds, he was doing it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I really like Conceição's performance. I can see he's a quality operator in there. I want to see more of him. But
gold medalist,
that's gold. Yeah. He won Brazil's first boxing gold medal at the Rio Olympics. Lots of pedigree. I mean, I know he fought Lomachenko. He lost by 1 point to Loma in the amateurs. So like he's really, really good. I can see that. And this is an experience for him, clearly. I think this is his first title fight. First fight past 10 rounds. And I think that inexperience kind of showed. And yeah, I feel like he let, like I said, they said, he opened the door and that let Valdez in. He didn't have to do that. So yeah, I have to give him, some flack's got to come his way, to be unfortunately, for that, which is a shame. But overall, to me, he still won that fight. And obviously the judges didn't see it that way. Fair enough. But some of the scoring, I think I saw one scorecard, which was 117, 110. How? I say it's every time. It's always 117, 110. It's always them ones. How, bro? What were you watching? 117, 110.
9 rounds.
How?
You know what? Once again, let me jump to the defense of the judges here.
Okay.
There's a few reasons I can see.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Well, we mentioned the crowd.
Yeah.
We mentioned controlling the story of the fight and pressing action.
Yeah.
You could talk about some of the meaningful telling shots as well were coming from Valdez and not so much from Conceição.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these early work in those early rounds, because that's where I struggled to see how you're giving rounds away.
Yeah.
You could say that a lot of these shots were landing in the gloves of Valdez. Valdez kept his guard quite high up. A lot of it was coming off the gloves and whatnot.
His face is
so
otherwise.
But then you could say, because the shots, his guard was so high.
Because he's knocking it back,
knocking back to his face and whatnot. But even then, it's all a stretch. So I'm thinking, when you're looking at shots that bobbing people's heads back, you weren't seeing that too much in the early rounds from Conceição. He was landing, but it weren't. Oh, that's a clean shot, or you were seeing some combinations, but not every shot that was super meaningful and super telling. There were shots that were just
they weren't like
control.
Yeah, they weren't shots that were like, whoa, like, oh, he's staggered and whatever. But he was winning the exchanges, and the combinations, they were cleaner and crisper in that opening 5 rounds, 100%. So yeah, it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be every time shots are hurting your opponent. It doesn't. If you're outlanding him and landing them cleaner and crisper, that's enough, in my opinion. But
I'm just trying to see what the judge. I don't know why I'm trying to defend the effects.
No.
Why.
Obviously, we know why. Hometown fighter, money man, Valdez, and obviously some of the way Conceição. But like I said, obviously they always say. I disagree with it, but I understand where they're coming from in terms of, how they always say you got to. When you're the challenger, you have to rip the title from the champion. You have to, really rip the title. And from when you do that for 5 rounds, and then you take the rest of the fight off in the way and start doing the whole showboating and whatnot, that might not have endeared them to the judges. Maybe that's what that's what the commentary team was saying. That's not how you rip the title off the champion. Cool. Fair enough. Like I said, I disagree with that, but I can see why that could happen. But I can't see in any sort of scenario 117, 110. I really, really can't, bro.
9 rounds.
Do you know how wild that is? 9 rounds. When we've seen him beat him for 5 rounds straight in the opening 5 rounds. Like, come on, man.
And if you maybe want to give him 1 or 2, there was still like the 11th round or the 10th round.
I think I gave him, was it 11? It might either the 10th or 11th.
I think 10th and 11th, I think.
I gave him both of them, And I gave the 12th to Valdez. Exactly, yes. So I think I had it like 7-5 Conceição
and even with the point deduction.
Yeah.
I was even thinking, if this fight's a draw, I would still be mad. Even though I was like,
because that point deduction being crucial.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it might be a draw. And I was like, it shouldn't even be a draw,
Yeah, with the point deduction. I factored in the point deduction, and I had
Boy,
they've done it again. But we've seen. I looked, and then obviously the punch stats have come out. Combox punch stats have come out. Valdez has outlanded this guy in every single round. No, not Valdez. Conceição has outlanded Valdez in every single round. There was not one round where Valdez outlanded him. Not one round.
Yep.
So overall punch stats, Conceição was won by a mile. So what are you telling me? Judge, what are you telling me?
If the name of the game is hit and not get hit, someone was getting hit more than the other one.
You saw his face, bro. Obviously, Valdez does cut easily, I think. I think he does mark up easily. But boy, yeah. Well, mate, if he's an easy marker, he's an easy marker, I guess. But his face was a mess. His face was, like I said, from round 2. You even said round 1. His face was like,
red in round 1.
You say his face was struggling from that. So Conceição's face looked calm. The calm fight looked all right. Like you can tell he'd been in a fight, but it wasn't like Valdez. We saw bruising here, bruising there, cuts there. Yeah, man. I really felt like Conceição won that fight. And yes, you can throw criticism his way in terms of that he took too many rounds off and he shouldn't have showboated or, changed style, because obviously his tactic in the first 5 rounds were perfect. He should have let Valdez in. But even with that being said, he boxed enough and he won enough rounds. He got enough rounds in the bank for me to have won that fight there. And unfortunately, that's unfortunately the nature of boxing, man. It's getting tiresome now. I think we do it every other week. We complain about judging and fights, fighters being robbed and whatnot. We know what they want to see.
You got to factor in that this guy tested positive.
And that's so it's mad. So not only have we seen this guy test positive for a banned substance, but now the fight itself, I can't even say Valdez boxed badly. He's a great fighter. I really do like him a lot. Like I said, this is not a vendetta against Oscar Valdez. He's a fighter we like a lot. But he lost that fight to me. Conceição was the one who deserved to win that fight, in my opinion. So yeah, it's a double whammy there.
It's a triple. Bad ref, bad judging, bad commission.
Valdez has caught a massive gift here. And obviously, we know what they're gearing up for. They spoke about afterwards. Obviously, it's the winner of the Heron Shakur Stevenson fight. They're going to try and match him up because it's all top rank, isn't it? So
it's all top rank.
So naturally, we know why Valdez was not going to lose that fight. Canelo was there in attendance as well. So they're not going to, hometown. So it's not happening. It's not happening. So
got that free promo from Canelo being local.
Yeah, but to me, he lost that fight. I want to see Robson Conceição again. I feel hard done by him as well because the fight shouldn't really been going ahead anyways. Really and truly, the fight should have been cancelled and Valdez probably should have been stripped, right? If we're going by proper boxing rules. But yeah, they gift him that, and he goes on to fight the winner of Shakur Stevenson, Jamal Herring, which a fight I'm 100% going to tune in for because that's a fight and a half. Yeah. But you've got to feel sorry for Conceição. You really do. You really do.
Yeah. He thought he won. His team thought he won.
He was giving it at the end. They were beefing at the end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't happy. They thought they won. They thought there was a robbery, clearly.
That's twice he's beaten. In my eyes, it's 2-0 him. In my eyes.
Boy.
Yeah, man.
Boxing stinks, man.
It does. And I hate to say it does. And I'm gonna complain some more about boxing because
we have to.
We've seen this weekend we've really seen some nasty affairs, bro. Some nasty affairs. Yeah, let's talk about it. What have we seen? We've seen Evander Holyfield versus is it Victor or Vital?
I don't know. Don't ask me. One of these
MMA guys who I pay no attention to. I think another one of my legends. But
is he an MMA guy?
Yeah, Belfort's MMA guy.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he's like one of the best MMA. Like he's a legend of their sport.
Oh, man, that makes it even worse. Oh man!
Forget that. The point is, no, forget that. Cool. If them lot want to keep score, cool. It is what it is. Cool. We gave them hell last time, so I understand they might.
Yeah. To be fair, this don't even count. But let's go.
Yeah. The point is,
let's talk about it.
The point is, obviously, okay. So we've seen Evander Holyfield get stopped in 1 round. He wasn't actually hurt, but the point was that Belfort had him in the corner, was packing him with punches. And even though Holyfield wasn't actually hurt, he wasn't actually throwing anything back. So the referee is liable to jump in and stop it, which is the correct thing to do. Holyfield wasn't throwing punches back and he was getting peppered with punches. So cool, stoppage. But my issue is, why is a 58-year-old Evander Holyfield, who's already punch drunk, if you hear him speak,
yep,
why is he in the ring again? That's all I want to know.
And late replacement as well. Or was he meant to be fighting on that card anyway? Or
Holyfield? No, yeah. Yeah, I think he was meant to be fighting that card. Holyfield,
okay.
I think so. I don't know.
Remember, he wanted to make a comeback years ago, and they said he weren't able to because they didn't give him his boxing license or something.
Yeah.
And here he is at 58 years old in a boxing ring, and it was sad to watch, man. It almost made me feel sick because this guy, the real deal, he's a proper boxing legend.
Proper boxing legend. Like I told you, my earliest boxing memory, the bite fight, Holyfied and Tyson. Yeah,
these are legendary moments, and seeing him like like that,
brother. One of the best crew. I mean, probably the best. You can probably say up there with the greatest cruiserweight of all time and heavyweight, both of them.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
Of all time, undisputed. I think probably the only one is one undisputed cruiserweight and heavyweight back in the 3-belt era. So serious legend. Yeah, one of my favorite fighters growing up. He's been through wars. The thing is with Holyfied, he's been through so many wars as well.
Yeah,
which is why he's punch drunk now, because he's taken a lot of punches in his career. Why is he fighting at 60? Why? Tyson and Roy Jones opened the door. I
don't want to see this again.
They've opened the door, man. Tyson and Roy Jones opened the door for this, and we're going to see James Toney's calling out guys now. He can barely string a sentence together.
No, James, they shouldn't let him anywhere near a ring.
Fam, he's
for
bad.
the sake of his life.
We're going to keep seeing this now, and it's just annoying. I saw sparring video, I saw the training videos of Holyfield. I can tell you from then, I said this guy's he's gonna lose. Like he didn't look set. He didn't look right in there. He looked awful. Brother, what's going on with this sport, man?
It looked terrible, man. For when he swung, you remember he tried to swing and I was like, my gosh.
Yeah.
Not one of the goats, you know.
I said, not my goat. No.
I couldn't believe it. And obviously, I don't have a clue this Belfort dude is. Man, it was sad to see. And it was a 2-minute round.
Yeah, it was 2-minute rounds.
Stop to the first round.
Brother, I feel like getting a boxing license is easy as hell these days. Like, you could walk up to the commission and say, let me get one, and they give it to you. Like, how is everyone getting a license so easily? I swear. Everyone's getting a license these days. It's
just the money. They chucking. Triller was chucking money at these people.
This is main event in Triller Fight Club. Undercard, we've seen the return of David Haye. What's his Haymaker? This is what Haymaker version 5.0 or something. How many comments? He's had more.
They just plastering him together. They just selling tape around him.
This brother has had more returns than the Undertaker. Like, it's just always doing returns. Like these WWE guys who can't turn up all the time. Like, fam, he's fought Joe Fournier, who's a mate of his. I think one of his good mates. It was basically a glorified sparring session. I saw the little highlights of it. Haye didn't come out of, like, obviously this Fournier guy's limited, and Haye was just easy work sparring for him. Very, very easy.
They wrote the bag together, it sounds like.
No, literally. Haye was saying, like, he didn't, like, there were times when this Fournier guy will swing and miss wildly, and Haye could easily just counter him with a shot, will put him down, but Haye refused. Like, he was happy to, like, it was a robbery. Big robbery. He didn't knock out his mate, basically. That's what he said afterwards as well. He said, I didn't have to knock him out, which is great. And it's like, okay, cool. So you just admitted the fact that you robbed the bank. But the point is, Haye is now and he's deadly serious about this too. Don't get it twisted. He's called out Tyson Fury afterwards.
Is he serious though?
I think he's serious. He wants to fight Fury. Yes, it's not going to happen. Well, it's never over boxing, but yeah, I think he wants a Fury fight, but not the fact that he thinks he can win. I don't think he himself knows he can't win. It's just money, innit? Money grab.
Yeah, it will do numbers because they were meant to fight twice before. Twice or 3 times before.
Twice, I think it was twice. And there's general, like, Fury hates Haye. Remember, he said he would relinquish than give Haye a title opportunity. Fury hates the guy.
Yeah, because he messed him around. Yeah,
because he kept messing around. Yeah,
I don't know how you can call out Tyson Fury when he's just been Tony Bellew gave him hell. he's still got Bellew problems. Bellew beat the life
out of that second fight. Flows. Like I said, that still hurts me to this day because Haye was one of my guys, one of my favorites, obviously. And seeing him like that, especially that first fight when he was on one leg, he was just swinging wildly. Oh, it was painful, bro.
The first fight, he can hold his head high, he can say he was injured, but the second one, my gosh, some of the knockdowns.
The one when he faced by the floor.
It's what he was talking about his power. He's always had this power. Him and Benny used to toe to toe, and Benny slumped him. So yeah, I don't know what he thinks he's going to do to Fury.
It's money, man.
Yes, because when he came out last time before the Belly fight, he was calling out AJ. He said, "Yeah, no, AJ this, AJ that," and then Belly ended that talk.
Yep.
And now he's talking Fury. I don't know what. I don't know, man. Boxing, like we say, boxing.
Boxing's a big joke right now, man. I swear, no one's taking it seriously. And the sad fact is, bro, at this rate, the Fury Haye fight is more likely to happen than the Fury AJ fight. Like, at this rate, because
true.
That Fury AJ fight is not happening anytime soon at all. So yeah, that's a sad part about it. But I just feel like anyone that's got a little bit of celebrity fame or clout is just jumping in and putting on the gloves and just hopping in the ring and calling it a serious boxing fight and doing mad numbers and whatnot. Like, yeah, man, and we called it, didn't we? We said that once obviously these YouTubers started jumping in and stuff, this is what's going to happen. They've opened, and then obviously then the old heads then jumped in and said, "Oh yeah, Tyson, whatever, comeback, whatever." Now look at what we're seeing
as well. Mayweather as well.
Obviously, we can't forget Floyd. Yeah, and now this is what's happening. This is now the sad part. Sad part is these lot are doing bigger numbers than the established actual boxers who have actual skill and are actually amazing at their craft. That's the sad part.
I don't even know who to blame because the best aren't fighting the best, and that's what gives room to all these other fights happening and making big money. It's like, why even fight a boxer when you can make money fighting some old retired ex-boxer, some celebrity? It's all nuts, man. And obviously, we saw Fury map out his plan.
Yeah. Just for the listeners, you want to quickly just retell it what he said, his plan?
I think he outlined a 5-fight plan that he's gonna do this 5 fights between now and 2022, and then he's gonna take a break, then come back in 2 years after that. He said next up is Deontay Wilder fight, which is in October. Then he's gonna fight Dylan White in December, beat him in the UK. Then he's gonna have a 2-fight deal with AJ. So he fights him once in, I think, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia was one.
And then back in the UK. And then he said he's going to wrap it up with Derek Chisora, have a trilogy with him. Now, if he's happy to fight Derek Chisora, that means I know he's happy to fight David Haye.
Yeah, true. It's true.
But I'll be stunned if half of those fights happened.
Facts. And the thing with Fury, I've said it before, don't listen to Fury. Take everything he says with a pinch of salt because he just talks. He's someone example of someone that's just talking just to be talking. Like don't listen to a word Fury says, man. He says a lot of things and most of it doesn't come to fruition.
Something sound cool. Other things sound like he's a clown.
He's a pro. He's very good at selling things and selling dreams, not just selling dreams, but in terms of hyping a fight up and getting tongues wagging. Fury is really good at that. So yeah, he's a salesman. He knows what he's doing with that one. But yeah, I wouldn't take any of that seriously, listeners, honestly, because I don't see that 5-fight plan isn't realistic to me. It should be realistic, but it's not because we know what the nature of boxing, we know the nature of the business.
And we know his resume in a minute, so we'll
the Pianettas and the Wallins and the Seferi guys who, I know Wallin is actually a good boxer, but the rest of them, I'm sure I don't think we've seen them fight again. I don't know if they've been in the ring since Fury. I don't know.
Never heard of them before him. Never heard of them after him. He says a lot of things. He will contradict himself in the same sentence. He does it a lot.
Similar to Wilder.
Have we heard from Wilder recently?
Nope.
He's come out and said that he's going to knock him out in 3 rounds and this and that.
3? Wow.
Yeah. I think Malik Scott does most of Wilder's talking now, but I think he said a few things. This is the training video.
This is probably I've seen a training video. This is probably the quietest we've ever seen Wilder, to be honest. Like I feel like that loss really did humble him. And we know that if he does win, the loudmouth Wilder's back. He's going to be insufferable. So he's going to be so long to deal with if he wins this. So yeah. I keep forgetting that's in October. That's coming around soon. So it's the fight nobody wants, but we're all here. It's true.
I'll see it.
Yeah, of course. No, we'll have to tune in. It's a heavyweight fight. It's a huge fight, but it's one of, obviously, like I said, under the circumstances, no one's really trying to see the trilogy again, especially when you see how the first two went. But get out of the way, Tyson. Please win. If you don't win, then but anyway, I don't mind who wins. I just like I said, I just want to see an undisputed champ. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
I just want to see AJ versus one of them two. Really,
yes, that's literally it. With all the belts on the line. That's what I want.
Yeah,
that's literally what I want. Before I was pro like, oh, let's have this domestic dust up Fury AJ, but now I can't be asked anymore. Now I can't be asked. Now I really want Dylan White to steal a title, and then him and AJ can get on for the rematch. Yeah. That's what I really, really want. But yeah, we'll see. But I guess to round up, boxing still kind of stinks. It's just this week has just been, it's been kind of poor for the sport that we love. We love-hate relationship. But yeah, I'm not trying to see any of these geriatrics get in the ring and OAP crimes in the ring against these men. I'm tired of it, man. But unfortunately, the door's been opened. Pandora's box, like you said, has been opened, and we're going to keep seeing this. And hopefully, no one gets hurt. As long as nobody gets severely hurt, I guess that's the only takeaway we can have from that. But yeah, it's getting very, very jarring right now.
Okay, we'll tune into the serious fights. Fights we want to see because there's certain fighters active who are still making things happen.
Still keeping the sport alive, keeping it true, keeping it real. Yeah.
Well, this nonsense, refs patting up, judges patting up,
brother.
WBA, WBC, you two patting up, especially them two.
Boxing patting up.
It's simple.
All right, cool. Episode 55, SZN Podcast. I've been your boy Cam.
I'm your boy Flows.
And thanks for keeping it locked. Make sure you check us out on all the platforms. Peace.
You taking a strap? I'm strapped up.
7, what was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.